spinning faster than we know. This world tells us where to go, how to live and who to be. Through the chaos and the noise, action echoes with one voice. Something deep inside is flickering. I will live, I will breathe, I will move. Behind me, light will shout, light will shine, light is carried through you and I.
Today, yesterday and today, we have 326 folks participating. They represent 85 colleges and universities from 9 states in the District of Columbia. Our strategy is twofold. First, to bring national experts to the Heartland. And secondly, to help build an environment and a network that encourages the sharing of best practices. Our goal is to both encourage and support your efforts to improve, expand, and institutionalize your work to prevent and respond to gender-based violence. Today, we are all aware that the public is watching us. The spotlight is on us in the colleges where we work. The White House, members of Congress, the U.S. Department of Education, U.S. Department of Justice, victims, survivors, and the public at large all want us to do better at this work.
So while the spotlight is on campuses, we're also seeing more education around the people who are talking about this nationally and the reporters that are reporting on the story. Now, we know that not every story goes that way, but I think that there are so many opportunities, as you were talking about, to learn from one another. A lot of you probably have some really great programs, policies, practices on your campus, and I know that that's the purpose of this conference in particular.
All around us we see change, different faces, different names, moving closer to one reality, where injustice finds defeat, and where courage finds 2 feet, where what's wrong and right collide, the light is on.
You know, another thing is we are seeing an increase in the number of cases that we're dealing with, and it's because we're investing in awareness and we're investing in training.
One struggle I think that we are having on campus is getting a more diverse group of peer educators in our Prevent group, which works with bystander intervention as relating to relationship and violence and sexual assaults. We're trying to include more men and more students from the international community as well as non-traditional students.
One of the most important ways to get men involved is to have men involved and to get men to think about these issues and think about reducing violence and thinking of violence as a problem that they are responsible for, is to have other men who are saying, I think that this is a problem.
So we're really fortunate in having a community organization called Voices of Hope, and so we have a victim advocate who has hours on our campus every week, but is still affiliated with, is an employee of that outside organization.
I think another challenge that we're having to address, as many campuses as well, is the social media issues. Programs, apps like Yik Yak really brings on violence to a campus in a way that's hard to manage, and so I think staying on top of that is a challenge.
We created a campus response team, a task force to look at all the issues, and from the seeds of that, we were able to create our victim advocate position on campus. We contract with the emergency services folks, victim services agency in town. This person is part of our ongoing campus team. She knows all of the housing people. She knows all the people who might, if there was a special issue related to our institution, she can provide services for victims thoroughly.
There was certain content we wanted to make sure that we got across. And so we would give it to the theater department and say, go with it. And they did a fabulous job. The exciting thing about that, it got them excited about this type of issues. Got them talking about these types of issues to their friends, their other students. And so and we also knew that it was a hit because their colleagues and their peers are more likely to see them than some other actor, unknown actor or actresses. And so we were trying to get them involved so that they're active, they're informed, they are participants, they're potential bystanders, but also we have a great product that students will actually see.
All around us we see change. Different faces, different names, moving closer to one reality, where injustice finds defeat, and where courage finds 2 feet, where else wrong and right collide, the light is on.
Voices from the Heartland, which is your input into what the big issues are, what the best practices are, what we need from campus leadership, and what we need from our federal partners. Another reason why what you all are doing here is so critically important, because you're doing this on a regional basis and you're being very inclusive, and you're including under-resourced schools, you're including state schools, you're including community colleges, all of which often get left out of the national dialogue.
We think it's a huge benefit using students as both peer educators and peer resources. So one of the programs that we utilize is a peer advocates program, and we think that is very beneficial. Additionally, we've seen an increase in reporting, which we think is a testament to how people are feeling more comfortable coming forward with the new policies that we've put in place.
I've seen programs engage in MOUs, memorandums of understanding. So you have that official working partnership, and you have, here's our definition of terms, here's what we can expect from each other, that sort of thing. In regard to advocacy services on campus, it's really common to house that advocate in like a women's center or gender advocacy center, which makes a lot of sense, but what sometimes they've seen happen then is that people don't want to go to the women's center because they don't, for whatever reason, they think that automatically identifies them, or if it's a male victim, they don't want to go. So some of the programs are trying to figure out another way to handle that.
And so in redirect examination, here's the question that was asked. So just to clarify again for the jury, at any time that evening, did you agree to have sex with a defendant? Because that's a definition of consent, right? And I thought her answer was amazing, actually, so poignant. What she said was, we didn't have sex. He had sex. I had no choice, okay? And to me, that summed up kind of what is the absence of consent. It is about a person making a decision for another person.
Historically, we had to make choices between competing priorities. Too often, we had to choose between protecting our schools or protecting our students. Despite our good intentions, campus structures, policies, protocols, and value systems were built to protect our institutions, and sometimes at the expense of our students. Today, however, we have a different environment. I would argue that we can build systems that put students first and must do so. That by protecting our students, we're in essence protecting our institutions. As a parent and as a father who has paid the ultimate price for gender-based violence, I also believe we can do better. And you know, and I know, we can do better, and we must.
Carry on, carry on, carry on, carry on, carry on till all your strength is gone. Carry on till all your strength is gone. Carry on.